Good afternoon. Welcome to our Philadelphia Electric television kitchen. Isn't this an attractive kitchen? And of course, it's electric. Today I'm going to prepare for you a complete surface meal using the cooker kettle of the electric range and the other surface units of the range. It's so easy to prepare a surface meal in your electric range because we have controlled heat on top of the range as well as in the oven. And on this meal I'm going to have cottage ham with mustard sauce, potatoes, carrots and onions, a tomato star salad, and for dessert, a jelly roll. We're going to make the jelly roll first so that we can get it into the oven and baked. First, suppose we prepare the pan. I have here a 9 by 13.5 shallow pan, and I've greased it all around the bottom and the sides. Now I'm going to put a piece of wax paper in the bottom of the pan. This piece of wax paper is a little smaller than the pan, about 1/3 of an inch smaller all around. Then grease the wax paper real well so that the jelly roll does not stick to the wax paper. I'm using a pastry brush here to grease this. Of course, you can use another piece of wax paper if you like, or you can use your fingers if you like. Now the pan is all ready for the jelly roll. I'm going to use the electric mixer because it does a wonderful job of mixing and saves a lot of time and a lot of energy. I have here in this bowl some hot water. I'm going to place over this hot water a larger bowl. This is the bowl that comes with our electric mixer. And in this bowl I have started to make the jelly roll. I have the eggs and the baking powder and salt beat together, and then I added some of the sugar. The beater part of the mixer and the motor is removable, and you can take it anywhere you wish and mix whatever you want to mix. So suppose we start mixing this and add the rest of the sugar to it. Now you want to beat this until all the large bubbles disappear, and the hot water in the bottom makes it beat a lot quicker. You see, that heats the eggs just a little bit and then it beats faster. Now it's very easy to remove the beaters. Just pull the handle down and they come right out. Put this right back on its base. We do want to clean these beaters off now. Get all the batter from the beaters. That only takes a very few minutes. Now we're ready to add the flour to this, and I'm going to fold this flour in. I just beat a lot of air into these eggs and I don't want to beat it out, so handle it very lightly. Just lift it up and turn it over as you beat it, or as you mix it, folding it. It takes a little while to get this flour in because you do want to get it well distributed into your batter. You might notice that I haven't given you the recipe for this. I don't like to give you the recipe, the exact recipe, because it takes too long. It takes too long for me to give it, and it takes too long for you to copy it. Besides that, I might not give it just right, or you might not copy it just right, and then you wouldn't have perfect results. And of course, we want you to have perfect results. We'd be very happy to send you the recipe for this jelly roll and for the whole dinner, absolutely free. If you just drop a penny postal card to me, Florence Hanford, Philadelphia Electric, Philadelphia 5, and then you'll have a permanent record of all of the recipes. Now, before we get that completely folded in, we can add the flavoring. And I'm going to use some vanilla here for flavoring. And we can fold that in too, and then we'll get all of the flour folded in. I like to use this scraper to fold the flour into the batter. Now I think that is very well mixed, and it's ready to put into our prepared pan. This is like a sponge cake. It's very light and spongy, just like a sponge cake. You know, a jelly roll is very easy to make, and they're kind of fun. I like to make them. Now we want to be sure and get this batter all out to the corners here of the pan so that it's well distributed all around the bottom of the pan here. You see how light it is? Please, that's all even now. We're ready to take this over to the electric range and bake it. Isn't this a good-looking range? Would look very nice in your kitchen, too. It does a wonderful job of baking and cooking. And I'm going to show you in just a very few minutes when this comes out what a wonderful job it does of baking. We have a thermostatically controlled oven on this range, and you can set it at any temperature you wish, and it automatically stays at that temperature. We also have an automatic clock on this range, and if you'd like to put your dinner in and set the automatic clock and go away for the afternoon, you can. Just forget all about your dinner, and when you come home, it's all ready to serve. Isn't that wonderful? This is a large oven. You could cook a whole meal in here at one time, or you could bake 4 layers of cake or 4 pies in here at the same time. You could bake 2 jelly rolls, too. You don't have to stoop to put anything into your electric oven. Just pull the rack out. There's a little catch that keeps the rack from falling out, and you can put your food right on. I'm going to put the jelly roll right in the center of the oven. I have the rack in the center, and it takes 13 minutes for that to bake. So we'll set the minute minder for 13 minutes. You know, a minute minder is really very handy to have because you can set it anywhere from 1 minute to 60 minutes, and then the little bell rings telling you when your food is ready to remove from the oven. You don't have to look at your watch or the clock or pay any attention to it. The bell reminds you when it is time to take it out. Well, now we'll just forget all about our jelly roll and go on with the rest of our dinner. The meat course today is cottage ham. Sometimes it's called a boneless butt or a smoked butt, but we're calling it cottage ham today. And it is one of the less tender cuts of meat, so it must be cooked according to the moist heat method. And I have it cooking here in the cooker kettle of the electric range because you do need a large kettle. And there's many things that you cook that you need a large kettle. For instance, if you make soup or stew, you need a large kettle, and this cooker kettle comes in very, very handy for that. And it's on many of the different models of our electric ranges. And we have controlled heat in the cooker kettle as well as on top of the range. And all you do is turn it to high, and as soon as it starts to boil, turn it to a lower heat and allow it to simmer until it is tender. And it takes about 40 to 45 minutes per pound for that to cook. This sits right down here in a little well, and you can cook your food right in that well, and that's a very handy place to store this kettle, too, when you're not using it. Well, this is really all ready to serve now, and it'll be nice and tender because I cooked it until it was tender. Very easy to carve this because it doesn't have any bone in it. There's many different ways that you can serve this. You can serve it cold, too, if you like, or you could serve it just like this, or you can bake it after you've boiled it. Put a glaze on it. I like to put whole cloves in it, too, and then put a glaze over the top, either a honey glaze or an apricot glaze or any kind of glaze that you might use on ham. Well, we want to serve some vegetables with that, and over here on top of the range I have cooking some potatoes, onions, and carrots. And I use some of the liquid from the cottage ham because I wanted the flavor of the ham in with the vegetables. So I cooked them in a separate saucepan here. And I turned it to high, and as soon as it started to steam, turned it down to a lower heat and allowed them to cook until they were tender. Now there's a lot of nutritive value in the liquid in which these vegetables are cooked. And of course we don't want to waste that nutritive value. So suppose we drain these right into a jar here, and we can keep this jar in our electric refrigerator for several days and use this liquid. You can use it in soups. It would be very good in soup because it would have the ham flavor in it. Or you can use it in white sauces, or you might like to use it in gravy. Or you could save it and then use it when you wanted to cook another vegetable, like green beans would be very good with the liquid from these vegetables. Now we'll serve these vegetables around the cottage ham. First, I have some onions here. A very good way to make those onions stay together is to take a paring knife and pierce the onion right into the center. And that makes all the different ridges adhere together and they won't fall apart when you cook them. I'm quite fond of onions, and this meal suits me just right. Now we have some carrots. Put those here in the front, and I left those in whole pieces. Just peeled them and left them whole. I'll put some of these in the back here. This is a very easy dinner because you see you have all of your vegetables right here in this pan. Now for the potatoes, let's put those over on this side. Nice and tender, and have the flavor of the cottage ham. Just one more potato here. Place right there for it. Notice that nothing sticks on the inside of our pan when we cook electrically because we use controlled heat. We use just the right heat. The outside of our pan is clean too because electric cooking is clean. You don't have to scour the bottom of your pan because it doesn't get dirty. All you have to do with this now is put it in your electric dishwasher and wash it along with the rest of your dishes. Electric cooking is also fast and it's cheap to operate too. I don't think we need much garnish on this, but I would like to have just a little chopped parsley over the top of the potatoes here and over the onions. There we have the meat and the vegetables. Suppose we take this over to our serving table because it really is all ready to serve. We want to serve a mustard sauce with this, and this is a very easy sauce to make, and I'm sure you'd like it. It's good to serve with ham or anything in which you like to serve mustard. In this bowl, I have some mayonnaise. I'm going to add some mustard to it, prepared mustard, and the recipe for this is also on our recipe sheet. When you drop that penny postal card for the recipes, you'll get the recipe for this sauce too. I'll mix that together. Then I have here some chopped chives. They taste a little bit like onion, you know, and give it a very delicious flavor. We need a little salt in here and some lemon juice. And I have here a very handy lemon squeezer. You can squeeze a wedge of lemon with this squeezer. And that's very, very handy even to pass around when you want to pass a piece of lemon for fish, or you might like to pass some lemon for iced tea. It goes right where you want it to then. It doesn't go on the tablecloth or anything. Now stir this all together here. We're going to serve this in a little tomato-shaped dish. You can chill this real well if you like, and keep it in your refrigerator and serve it even the next day. I think that's just about enough for that dish. I'm going to ask Dottie if she'll take that over to the serving table for me. This is Mrs. Hartline, who helps me each week on the program. Thank you, Dottie. Welcome. Well, now we want to get started on the salad. The salad today is a tomato star salad, and I have started over here. It's a gelatin salad. Here I have some tomato juice that I have heated along with the seasonings. Oh, I have a little onion juice in here and celery salt and also some bay leaf. Going to take the bay leaf out now because it really has served its purpose. It gave flavor to the salad. You know, a bay leaf does give it a very delicious flavor. Here I have some gelatin that has been softened in a little tomato juice. So suppose we put that into the hot tomato juice here and stir it until it is all dissolved. That doesn't take very long because our tomato juice is very, very hot. And be sure you get it very well dissolved. Because if you don't, it won't get hard, and you do want your salad to set so you can unmold it. I'm going to add a little vinegar here, too, for flavor, and stir that in. I like this salad because instead of putting it into a mold, we put it into a tall glass. Now you know a gelatin salad does have to set, so we'll take it over to the electric refrigerator and put it into the refrigerator until it gets very, very hard. You can make that salad the day before if you like, and then have it all ready for your dinner the next day. Well, the jelly roll is just about ready, so suppose we get ready for it. We want first to use a towel, a kitchen towel here, and spread it out very flat on your table, and then sprinkle it well with powdered sugar so that the jelly roll doesn't stick to the towel. Oh, there goes the bell, telling us it's time to remove the jelly roll. That minute minder keeps right on ringing until you turn it off. That's very, very handy, because suppose you happen to be upstairs and you might not hear it if it just rings once. Oh, it's nice and brown. Now we'll test it to see if it is done. It springs back, so that means that it is done, and let's test it also by listening. If it doesn't sing, then we know it is done, and it doesn't sing. I'm going to leave the door open slightly and turn the oven off so that the oven will cool. Now take a sharp knife and cut off the crisp edges here. You can either cut these off first before you remove it from the pan, or you can wait until you remove it from the pan and then cut the edges off. I always like to have a jelly roll because you get a chance to taste it before you have the jelly roll, because you have these little pieces in the pan and you can eat those for your lunch or really try them ahead of time. You remember I cut the paper just 1/3 of an inch smaller, and that was the reason why, so we could cut those off. Now, we have to help this out just a little bit here. And there it comes. Sometimes the edges here don't come out. That did very, very well, didn't it? Now we can cut the rest of these off and go quite through far enough. And cut those off. And now, remove the wax paper. That sticks sometimes a little bit and you have to help it. That came off very, very easily, didn't it? We want to put some jelly on this now. And I have here the jelly all softened. I just took a fork and softened that jelly. Spread the jelly all over the jelly roll, out almost to the edge, but not quite. You know, men are very fond of jelly rolls, and I think women like them too. Get just a little bit over on that side. Now it's ready to roll. You roll it up, starting from this end, just like you would a jelly roll. Then you must roll it in the towel here, so that it does cool right in the towel, and that makes it adhere together. Put it onto a cake rack. Now we'll put the jelly roll back here and allow it to cool. We do want to get on with the salad and unmold it and finish the salad. I made one ahead of time and put it in the electric refrigerator so that it would be all set and ready to serve. I also have the salad greens in the hydrator here of the refrigerator. I always like to keep the salad greens in the hydrator so they're nice and crisp when I'm ready to serve them. I'm going to serve this on individual salad plates today. And this is called a star salad. And the reason it's called a star salad is that you arrange the endive in star fashion on the salad plate. It's really very crisp and nice from the hydrator. of the refrigerator. We should put about 5 pieces because that's has many points as we have in a star on each plate. I like to use the light in this particular case and just a little of the dark so that it does make an attractive serving for the salad. I always wash the greens as soon as I bring them home and then shake off all the excess water and put them in the hydrator. And then when I'm ready to make a salad, I don't have to re-wash them, and I really think they keep a lot better too if you wash them as soon as you bring them home. We want to get 5 more points here for this salad plate. One more. Now we're ready to remove the salad from the glass. We don't have to dip this into hot water to loosen it. All we have to do is take a case knife and run it around the side here of the glass. Be sure that you get it all loosened. Now let's see if it can turn out onto the plate. Might have to help it just a little bit. And it comes right out. There it comes. Now we'll cut this in half and then in quarters. And put one of these on each one of our stars here. I think we need just a little mayonnaise here on the side. I always like to put it on the side, and then everyone can help themselves and take just as much dressing as they wish. There we have a very attractive, easy salad to prepare. I'm going to ask Dottie if she'll take that over to the serving table for me. I used frozen tomato juice in that salad. And if you have a freezer in your home, you can have frozen tomato juice and grape juice or any kind of juice in your electric freezer. It's so nice to freeze your own juice. And you can use your own tomatoes, or of course you can buy tomatoes when they're less expensive and freeze it that way. If you have a lot of room, it's really delicious to have your own tomato juice and other juices. Here I have some of my own tomato juice. I use tomatoes right out of my own garden and also grapes out of my own garden and made grape juice. Or you can buy the concentrated orange juice in the can and then store it in your electric freezer. Well, now I think that the jelly roll is cool. First, we'll have to remove it from the towel. We have quite a lot of sugar on this, so suppose we take it right over to a tray here and unwrap it right on the tray. Oh, that really does look good. It's nice and brown. You always get the same wonderful results when you cook electrically. Does that look good? Well, that really completes our dinner. So suppose we take this over now to the serving table and put it here with the rest of our dinner. We have now the cottage ham, the onions, carrots, and potatoes, the tomato star salad, and of course, the mustard sauce and the jelly roll. I know that you're convinced that the electrical appliances do give you wonderful results. And if you'd like to see the different models of these electrical appliances, just go to your local electric dealer or any Philadelphia electric showroom, and they'll be very happy to show them to you. I hope that you have enjoyed our Philadelphia Electric program as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. Don't forget to drop a penny postal card for the free recipes. Drop that postal card to Florence Hanford, Philadelphia Electric Company, Philadelphia 5. Until next week at the same time, goodbye.